morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, dogs and cats, and all the fish in the sea. It is I, the OG GM, coming to you live, mostly on a Monday morning here in a small island off the coast of Costa Rica, known affectionately as Site B. It is the 8th day of May, 2023. It's about 2023, whatever year it is. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning, 9:30 to be exact, and it is bright and sunny but hazy outside. And it's time to take a look at all the tabletop role-playing game news, specifically from that tower of infinite wisdom in Seattle that is Wizards of the Coast / Hasbro. We're trying the new format. We're separating Hasbro news from non-Hasbro news. Let me know what you think about it. If you're enjoying it, let me know. So what's going on this week from our genius friends over at Wizards of the Coast? What else have they done this week? What new stories will we chart our Wizards of the Coast compass by? Or, as some other people prefer to call it, this week in Wizards of the Coast Stupid. All right, so I saw one. Where'd it go? All right, here it is. Okay, so first and foremost, we've got this thing, the Extra Life D&D Beyond thing. So this is a charity thing that is being run on D&D Beyond and the GM's Guild. It is being sponsored by Extra Life and Wizards of the Coast. It is going to support various children's charities in and around Washington and Seattle in that area. It is basically, they gave kids a prompt, draw a monster. And these kids drew monsters, and then they made stat blocks for them. And then they put that in a bundle. There's some other things in the bundle as well. It's available on D&D Beyond. It's available on GM's Guild, and it's available at Extra Life. So if you want to support some children's hospitals in the Seattle, Washington area and pick up some cool little monsters that kids created, they also threw in some other stuff in there. There's an adventure in there. There's the Minks and Booze Guide to Villainy in there. It's about $9. So there's that. We have the community update. So who's beeping me? It's my mom. As we know, we went over this. And now we're going over it again because they wanted to make sure that we knew that coming out of that community update creator summit they had last month, that it was everything went according to plan. And now in this little update, they of course seem to gloss over the fact of what a disaster it was. And they just brought to light some of the things that are coming out of it that they're going to be focusing on. Now, this is about a 2-page little documental blurb that they put on D&D Beyond in the blog. At no point do they mention any of the actual plans for D&D 2024. They just talk about the other things, like how they're going to be doing a new educators kit for schools. And they want, D&D clubs in schools because they want to teach the next generation of players their version of D&D before any of them are exposed to, the actual way. So if you remember, I did this a few months ago. I submitted to the educators thing, and they sent me a free starter box and a couple other things, which I all gave away to kids. So, yeah, I'll do it again when they announce a new one. They also touched on how about, D&D Beyond is going to be the front door for all things going forward D&D. It's going to be all digital. It's going to be all on D&D Beyond. They're going to be focusing more and more on putting content in D&D Beyond. Anything that was on older Wizards of the Coast or Wizards of the Coast adjacent sites like maps or adventures or whatever are all going to be on D&D Beyond. So if you want to know everything that's going on 2024 going forward, you're going to have to spend that $30 a month to get D&D Beyond. And they're going to have D&D Beyond be more accessible. They're going to include tool sets for players with disabilities. They might actually get around to be putting the stuff in Braille or in another language besides English, because, they haven't yet, despite them being all about accessibility. And then, because it's Wizards of the Coast, they also informed us how they're going to be changing Wizards and Warlocks again. So earlier this month, they released the latest playtest packet. It contained a whole bunch of new stuff on fighters and weapon skills and magic and wizards. But instead of taking a couple days off and deciding to maybe, actually listen to the press secretary, they went back and released a brand new chunk of post-creator content, post-playtest information over the weekend regarding the Wizard and the Warlock. Let's go over the Warlock one first because it's the most confusing. And then we'll go over the wizard one because it's also really confusing, but not as confusing. So they went in to the Warlock class and they removed everything that makes the Warlock class the Warlock class. You know, the big differences between the Warlock class and, say, a regular wizard is they're more focused on very specific abilities. They're more focused on sort of the weird, quirky demon powers that they get, you know, with the pacts and the invocations. And, you know, with a Warlock, basically there's 2 Warlock builds. Well, 2.5. You either play the Eldritch Blast focused Pew Pew Warlock, or you play the Pact of the Weapon Warlock Paladin Halberd Master. And then or you could play the other one with like the demon focused one. But really, you know, those are the 2 that are most popular. And if there's anything that defines the identity of a Warlock other than the packs, it's probably Eldritch Blast and the, you know, that thing that makes them not just a wizard subclass. Well, they went in and removed all of them. Pretty much like me going into my closet and throwing away all my sweaters. They then turned around and looked at everybody after going into my closet and removing all my sweaters, or going into the Warlock class and basically scrubbing anything that makes the Warlock class unique. They then said, you know what the problem is with Warlocks? They have no unique identity. Mind you, they just went in and removed everything that makes Warlocks unique. And then they informed us that Warlocks have no unique identity. So going forward, Warlocks are pretty much going to be the spell-casting version of the Bard. They're going to get spells, but they're not going to get them at first level, and they're going to have a very limited selection of spells. Right now, it looks like their spell acquisition chart is very similar to the Ranger and the Paladin's acquisition of spells chart. So you're not getting spells to 3rd, 4th, maybe not even 5th level. 1st through 4th level, you get a mini pack. It's not as good as the original old pack. And basically, you don't really have anything that makes you different than a spellcaster. In fact, compared to a real wizard or a real sorcerer or a real cleric, the Warlock is conceivably weaker right now. Because again, there is nothing in the current Warlock build that makes them unique as opposed to a sorcerer or a cleric. And then they want us to know that as of yesterday, they feel there is no unique identities to Warlocks. So I don't know, why do we even have them? I don't know, Wizards of the Coast, they never made sense to me. But if you're going to have them, they have to be uniquely different enough from the other 2 major spellcasters. Otherwise, why play them? And you're like, I don't know, we just took everything out that made them cool and unique, so why play them? But that's not all. That's not all. Then they decided to redo Wizards over the weekend. You know, Wizards, the core spellcasting class. Now, what's amongst the many abilities that makes a wizard stand out from the other 2 spellcaster types is their ability to learn spells, memorize spells, use spells, and copy spells. You know, how many times through the long history of the game has a wizard discovered a scroll? I used invisibility in the example. So a wizard finds a scroll with a 2nd level spell, invisibility. And he looks in his spell book and she's like, I don't know invisibility, but I really want to know this because it might come in handy in my future. So what I'm going to do, can I copy the spell as it's written on the scroll into my spell book so I have it for future use? And usually it was like, sure, you either roll a percentile or you roll a d20, or now it's just time and material components. You know, you have to devote a certain amount of time to copying the spell, and you have to devote a certain amount of money for special inks and whatever else that, you know, explains the difficulty of copying from the scroll, and then you add your own unique little panache to it. Now, under the former rules before yesterday, the former rules was 50 gold pieces and an hour per level of the spell. So invisibility, 2nd level spell, it's going to cost you 100 gold pieces in ink and herbs and spices and whatever else. And it's going to take you about 2 hours to copy it, which of course really makes no sense, but sure, whatever. 2 hours to copy an invisibility spell. Okay. So that was the old way. You know, you get a scroll, you get a spell book. You don't want to use the scroll until you've copied it. So during your long rest, if you have the materials, you make the copy. If you don't have the materials, you use your next time you're at home base to spend the money and the time to get the materials to copy it. And then you've got an invisibility scroll and you've got it in your spell book. That's the old way. The new way is now copying a spell from a scroll or learning a new spell is a spell. There's called a spell. It's a spell. It's literally called spell copy spell. And what this spell does, it lets you look at a source that has a spell on it and copy it to your spell book. But now it's a spell. It's not a ritual anymore. It's not just, spend 8 hours doing this or whatever. No, it's a spell. The spell does the exact same thing the mechanics did. So I cast this spell, but I still have to spend the time. I still have to spend the material components. But now I can waste a spell slot to copy a scroll from a scroll to my spell book. Now, the only time I would ever do this is when we're resting, because I'm not going to do it in combat since it still takes anywhere from 10 minutes to 2 hours. So, yeah, all I've done is wasted a spell slot that I could have used for something else on the off chance that while we're adventuring, I run into something I want to copy, but I can't copy it until we're taking a break anyways, since casting the spell takes anywhere from 10 minutes to 2 hours, which is what it took before. But that's not all. Then they added a spell called Modify Spell, which somehow lets you now modify the spell to make it more unique to you. So now you can take that spell slot and modify it. Yes, my brain is hurting just trying to explain that to you. I need to take a breath of fresh air. Whew. All right. So I know my brain hurts from trying to explain that. I'm sure your brain hurts from trying to understand that. So let's move on to some good news from Wizards of the Coast. Hey, Commander. Commander, currently the most popular format of Magic the Gathering, because you don't have to actually really spend a lot of money on cards. They're introducing a brand new Commander set. It's called Commander Masters, and it'll have tons of legends plus new cards in ready-to-play decks. So how is this different than any previous Commander-specific set? It's not. They're doing exactly the same thing they've ever done before. They're just calling it a new name and trying to make you think it's now new and completely different. And among the fan favorites, we'll have the Dragon and some other fun stuff. So if you're a big fan of Commander, which is the number one source of playing Magic these days, because that way you don't have to fall victim to all the Wizards of the Coast nonsense regarding Magic. And yeah, so now they're releasing another Commander set, but it's not going to have anything new or different in it. It's basically reprints of stuff you probably already have. So you can spend $50 or $75 on the one chance you get the one card you don't have, or you can just go to like the dollar bin of Magic cards and build a Commander deck right there, because, whatever. Yay, Commander. Woo. But that's not all. We've got some more good news from Wizards of the Coast. In case you didn't know, because they haven't advertised it at all, no mention of it anywhere, Honor Amongst Thieves is now available to watch on Amazon Prime. So let's go to Amazon Prime real quick. And we're going to share screen to prove my point. And all right. So Amazon Prime, right here. Here's the first page. No mention of Honor Amongst Thieves. I see Peripheral, which started out great and then it got bad. Terminal List, Marvelous Miss Maisel, The Boys, Suits, Rings of Power. Oh God, SpongeBob. You can watch SpongeBob on Prime right now. Jack Ryan. No mention. Where's the Amazon? Nope. Okay. Let's see. Yep. Nope. Honor Amongst Thieves. Nope. Nope. Nobody. Nope. No. Okay. This is the front page. Anybody going to Amazon Prime right now would see this. No mention of Honor Amongst Thieves. I'm not signed in. I don't want to sign in. It takes too much trouble. Why does it always do this? I keep telling it not to do this. And it's like, here, do you know you're you? And I'm like, yes, I know I'm me. Okay, Prime Video. But damn, the very first thing I should see is Honor Amongst Thieves because, oh no. It's a movie called Safe House. Oh, The Way Back with Ben Affleck. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3 is a documentary about puffins. Number 4 is the Grammy Award-winning Marvelous Miss Maisel. Number 5 is letting you know that they are all, linked up with AMC and Stars. Number 6 is a movie called Mafia Money, Mama. Number 7, hey, did you know we're connected with Stars and MGM? Number 8 is letting you know that for $20 you could watch Honor Amongst Thieves on Amazon. Number 8. Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro and Amazon really want you to know that movie is available to watch on Amazon. It's been available to watch on Amazon since Wednesday of last week. They just haven't told anybody. No ads on TV, no ads on Amazon, no ads on Hasbro, no ads on Wizards of the Coast, no ads in the weekend newspaper. So, yeah, if this was your attempt to make back the money you lost from Honor Amongst Thieves in the past 5 weeks, I don't see it. I don't see it. I think you'd be a little bit more excited than, hey, can we pay for the 8th slot? Okay. An ad for a Taylor Swift kids book rates higher than you letting people know that Honor Amongst Thieves is now available to rent for $20, which is more than you would pay to see it in the theaters right now on Amazon. But I guess they felt that by putting this on Amazon and not telling anybody, it would make enough money over the 3-day weekend because it was a bank holiday for a lot of people, especially overseas because of the coronation of Prince Charles. And for other people had a 3-day weekend. I know my niece had a 3-day weekend. So a lot of people had a 3-day weekend. So you would think that even though with Guardians out, that would have made, some money. So it's been in the news enough. It's 5 weeks in. So opening week box office weekends as of Monday, May 8th, obviously Guardians of the Galaxy raked in $400 million. Mario raked in $50 million over the weekend, a 3-day weekend for a lot of people, especially overseas, and some people here in the USA. Honor Amongst Thieves raked in 400,000. 400,000. That's including Amazon and including China, because now it's playing in China. $400,000 box office, including the fact that it's $20 per view on Amazon, including the fact that it's now in theaters in China and Asia, where you really want to go to make the money, because that's usually where movies make their a large chunk of their money. It made 400,000. It couldn't even make $1 million despite being on Amazon. And why is that? Because they didn't tell anyone it was on Amazon. No mention anywhere. Not even one commercial on Amazon. I just want you to think about that for a moment. It's like they wanted the movie to fail. They have done everything they could to make this movie fail. You can't blame it on the January OGL nonsense or Ginny D talking about it, because the movie was guaranteed to fail even before January happened. They were talking about they didn't expect it to make more than 40. It was expected to make 40 million. 40 million. That's nothing. That's pocket change for a movie. So yeah, way to go, Hasbro / Wizards of the Coast. Your 2 pieces of good news are not good news. Hey, you can get a Commander set of cards that are already available, but it's got a new name. Hey, look, we're going to make all the money back we lost by putting Honor Amongst Thieves on Amazon, but we're not going to tell anyone. Hey, we're going to make 6th edition 2024 D&D totally unique and original, but making each class unique and original, except for the Warlocks, who are no longer unique. And if you thought spell casting was complicated before with 5th edition, we made it even more complicated. But don't worry, it's all playtesting, so we will probably change it, which means whatever we see in 2024 will look nothing like the playtest. And I know because I playtested 5th and the 3 rounds of playtest, and what we finally saw looked nothing. They look nothing alike. D&D Next and 5th edition look nothing alike. The printed, when we finally got 5th edition, we're like, what the fuck is this? This isn't what we play tested. Wizards of the Coast being stupid for the past 40 years. 30 years, whatever it is. As we wait with bated breath to finally be told what, if anything, Dungeons & Dragons 2024 is going to be. And that's just Monday's news. They still have 4 more days to do even more stupid things than say Warlocks no longer have a class identity by removing everything that made Warlocks unique and for neglecting to tell anybody that the movie that they were expecting to make them $1 billion is on Amazon. But, you know, we're not going to let anybody know. It's a secret. Shh. If you can find it, you're special. Shh. That's it for the Wizards of the Coast news. Let me know what you think about the format. If you're interested in playing the new, not new version of Commander, are you going to spend $20 to see it on Amazon? Or are you going to wait till it's $5, which should probably be by this time next week? Let me know what you're thinking of Wizards of the Coast this week. Because, yeah, if you want to hear me talk more about Wizards of the Coast, let me know. If you never want to hear me talk about Wizards of the Coast ever again, too bad. I tried. It can't be done. I would literally have pretty much nothing to talk about. So I guess I'm grateful for Wizards of the Coast for continuing to be self-destructive because it gives me a topic to make fun of them with. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Help me hit 2,000 subs by the end of the year. If you're feeling generous, considering supporting the OG GM Adventures by signing up for the Patreon or heading on over to Big Geek Emporium and buying my merch. You got 2 brand new products up at Big Geek Emporium over the weekend. Each of them only $2. One of them is the 4th level of my Dungeon 23 Mega Dungeon. And the other is issue number 12. Issue number 12 of Minions on a Mission, featuring 15 pages of brand new OGL D20 content. So if that's something you're excited about, head on over to Big Geek Emporium, pick up my brand new or all my product, each of them for only $2. And remember, I will not send the Pinkerton detectives over to your house. Till next time, I've been the OG GM. Have a great day. I'm cold. Talk to you later. Get off my land.